Hello everyone, Jeff here again, and I'm making this video POV style in order to show what I'm making for dinner tonight, because this video is a response to Bobby Z's video where he wanted you to just, show something that you, other than records, to talk about. Kind of getting, I'm calling this video, another side of Jeff Kempin, because I like to cook, and what I'm making for dinner tonight I thought might be a good way to show another side of Jeff Kempin. So here we go. I'm making pot roast, and this recipe comes from the Cook's Country 2011 collection of bound magazines, and the recipe itself is called Lazy Cook's Pot Roast. I've made this for dinners for years, and it's a family favorite. And if you wanted to try this recipe too, I think you might like it. So I'm just going to run through it here really quick because, well, you can't see the thermometer there, but that thermometer is reading -9. I was just outside in the garage for a quick minute, and it is brutally cold out today. So pot roast is going to really hit the spot. And don't worry, for you vegans out there, I'm not showing any meat. I left the roast in the fridge. You'll just have to imagine it. I don't want to gross any vegans out, or vegetarians. So what you do is, the first thing you do is you make a rub, which consists of 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I've made a double batch of this rub, so if you wanted to make more, just multiply the numbers accordingly. Then you take 4 teaspoons of onion powder. I used 8. Then you take 2 teaspoons of, the recipe calls for light brown sugar. All I had in the cupboard was dark. It's fine. It doesn't matter. And I used 4 teaspoons of this because I'm making a double batch. Then 2 teaspoons of salt, but I used 4. Then I didn't really measure this out because this is black pepper, the pepper mill, so I just ground a bunch of black pepper into it until it looked like the right amount. But the recipe calls for a teaspoon, so it didn't take much. Then you take a teaspoon of garlic powder. I used 2. A teaspoon of instant espresso powder, but instant coffee works just as well. So I used 2 teaspoons of that. A teaspoon of dried thyme, and a teaspoon of celery seed. Mixed it all together in a bowl, and it looks like this, as you can see. It's very, with the cornstarch, it's very dry. So, with the rub done, I then took my roasting pan, and I laid a layer of tin foil this way, and then I laid another one crossing it with enough overhanging on the sides so I can seal it at the top. Then I'm going to chop up a bunch of potatoes, throw them in the pan, chop up an onion, into bite-sized pieces, more or less. Chop up carrots, but if you're lazy like me and you just buy a bag of the baby carrots, that works just fine. So you throw all that in the pan, then you add a couple of bay leaves, you throw that in there, and then you shake a couple of shakes of soy sauce. And this is tamari, this is gluten-free soy sauce because my wife can't handle gluten, so I use the gluten-free stuff, and it tastes just the same. You put the soy all over the vegetables in the pan, and what that does is it gives the roast a little extra juice, and it flavors that juice immensely. So then you take your roast, rub the rub all over it, you know, both sides, all over, very liberally. Whatever's left, I'll sprinkle on top of the vegetables in the pan. Then I'll put the roast on top of everything, fold over the tin foil, you know, crimp it up real tight at the top, and put it in the oven, 300-degree oven, for about 3.5 to 4 hours. So it's like 12:30 now, so probably when I'm done making this video, I'm gonna put all this together and get it in the oven and get it going. And then when you're done, you know, the meat is fall apart tender, and the potatoes and all the vegetables are nice and soft, and you've got a lot of nice juice in the pan, bottom of the pan, to pour over everything, and it's a beautiful thing. So that's what I'm having tonight. Like I said, this is a family favorite recipe. I suppose I can maybe hold the camera here if you wanted to freeze the screen. You can get the entire recipe basically right here. If you're interested in making this, I recommend it. If you like pot roast like me, it is a delicious recipe. And on a cold, blustery day like today, it fits the bill perfectly. Right over here, I've got my Le Creuset collection. That there on the top is a wok, and for those of you who don't know what Le Creuset is, it's enameled cast iron cookware. So you see that wok on the top with the glass lid is a enameled cast iron wok, and believe me, once that thing gets ripping hot, it will sear anything. So I don't make any stir fries without it. And sitting below it are a couple of skillets. Then below that you've got a pot, you've got a Le Creuset pot, and the lid there is a small skillet as well. Then here I've got an oval Dutch oven. Below that, a wider oval Dutch oven. And at the bottom there is a round, very tall Dutch oven, which is probably the one I use the most. Basically, when the zombie apocalypse hits and society is reduced to cooking over campfires again, this is the stuff we'll be eating out of, because Le Creuset is indestructible, and it's got a lifetime warranty too. So, and I know if you look up prices on this stuff, you know, it's really expensive. And basically I've collected these things up over, I'd say, the last 10 or 12 years. Like, I would probably buy one piece per year. And then this is legacy stuff. This is the kind of things that you'd hand down to your kids. I already told my daughter, I said, you're getting all this Le Creuset when I die. It's all going to you. So, and I just went with the original orange color on all of them. So, and of course this roasting pan here is Le Creuset as well. And even though the oven temperature is pretty low at 300 degrees, once that pan gets hot, it really holds the heat in, and it cooks everything fantastically. So, yeah, it's expensive, but it'll be the last cookware that you'll ever need to buy, basically, because it's indestructible. You can put it in the oven, you can put it on the stove top, you can deep fry with it, you can bake bread in it, you can do anything basically you want in these items. So, yeah. Another side of Jeff Kempin, you know, the cooking side. I usually make dinners almost every day for the family. And today I'm going to make pot roast. So, hope you enjoyed this video, Bobby. I had fun making it, even though you don't get to see my face on camera, just my hands. But, yeah, I hope this fits the bill for your thread. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you guys try this recipe out, I hope you enjoy that too. So, till next time, everyone, take care. This is Jeff. Peace.